Good morning, I'm Hello Rodney. Thanks for clicking on my video. It's early here, 5:58 a.m. Oh, I can't even see if the camera's right. I think that's pretty good. I wanted to talk about this young woman. I just get out of bed and turn on my computer, and that's basically the headline is suffering from postpartum depression. Now, she thought President Obama was stalking her. Dental hygienist shot after ramming her car into White House. Suffered delusions due to postpartum depression. So I feel sad for her. She's dead now. I feel sad for her family and for her child. And when I saw postpartum depression, I'll tell you a story about that. When I was a young guy, I was about 19 years old, I was living in Ohio, and I had gone to college for a year, and then figured out that college wasn't for me. One reason is because I had discovered marijuana in a pretty good way before I went in for the second year. And so I just quit school and got a job working in a smelter. Actually, it was in the crusher, where the rocks from the mine are crushed. And so you're covered with dust, and you have to have a dust mask and all that. So that's the first job that I had, working in that mining. And that previous summer, I had gone to Indiana and met up with a couple of my buddies there after the first year of college. And in Indiana, I met a guy who was a basketball player at the local college. And we became friends, and then one day he called me up and said, well, there's plenty of work here. I got a job for you, or something like that. I can't remember. And there's girls everywhere. So I went down, quit my job, got on an airplane, and flew to Ohio. And so I got there, and he had set me up with a blind date. This girl was incredibly beautiful. At that period of time, they still had things like, in the high school yearbooks, most beautiful and stuff like that. She was most beautiful in her school, a Catholic high school. She was stunningly beautiful. Irish with long black hair. This is back around the time, this is in 1970. January of 1970. And she had really long hair, straight hair, down to her back, way down her back. She was freaking beautiful. She was, I think, 5'9" and weighed like 117 pounds or something, but she was freaking gorgeous. It's beautiful, more beautiful than any model you can think of. She was that beautiful. And so, I was just like struck by this. Anyway, we became boyfriend and girlfriend. And she had some strange kind of behaviors, but her mother was kind of a odd person. Her mother was, off in some way. It was kind of like hidden kind of thing, but it was still kind of evident, but there was something going on there with her mother. So it'd be interesting to see what happened if this young woman had some sort of history of mental illness. But anyway, she and I became boyfriend and girlfriend, and like a lot of things, that ended. It went on for a few months, like 4 or 5 months, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. So this is years later. This is within about the last 10 years, maybe 10 years ago. I Googled her name, and it came back that she had died in a fire. Wow. So I got on the phone and I called back there trying to find some information out. And anyway, found out that she had married, and I guess it probably wasn't too long after we had split up. I'm not sure about that. Well, actually, she had married her high school sweetheart, and then that had fallen apart, and then she was a nurse. She was an RN, and then after that fell apart, she married a doctor, an eye doctor. And so she was married to an eye doctor, and that's who she had children with. So I called him, and I was talking to him, and he said that they had a first child and that she had postpartum depression, and that she had all kinds of strange behaviors. She actually became violent. She went into depression where she couldn't take care of the kid. But this is what I remember. It's been a long time since I remember that. I just got snapped with this postpartum depression thing. And that, the whole thing was totally dysfunctional after that. And that after a while, I don't know exactly how long it was after that she had told him that she wanted to have another child, and he just basically said no, because of what he had gone through with the first one. But she kept on and on and on badgering the guy, and this woman was freaking beautiful, man. I'm telling you. Just unbelievably beautiful woman. And so, anyway, the guy finally relented. So what happens? Twins. Postpartum depression. To the point where I guess she wasn't working at all. He had to have a person come in to take care of the kids because she just couldn't pull it together at all. And then finally, after years and years and years, I think the kids were probably in their early teens. The twins. That he just had enough. I mean, she was like attacking him physically. And so he eventually just couldn't take it anymore, and he got a divorce. Well, he found another woman, and so the woman that I'm talking about, when he went on a ski trip, she went to his house and set the porch on fire. This is what I remember. Holy cow, this is, this is serious stuff. Postpartum depression and mental illness. And then she had a house. I guess this was the house that her family with the doctor was living in prior. I guess that after the divorce, she got the house and he got another house or whatever. She ended up burning the house down and died in the fire, either from smoke inhalation or just burned up in the fire. So this young woman here that was doing all this kind of strange, weird behavior, she thought President Obama was stalking her. Dental hygienist shot after ramming her car into White House. Suffered delusions due to postpartum depression. So this is something that's very serious, and so I feel for this person's family, and well, her child as well. I don't know what would be. I don't know how you would. I don't know how this gets treated. I don't know if it's considered a mental illness or a mental disorder, but I do know that based on the little experience that I have directly, and I didn't have that kind of experience directly with the things that this woman's husband went through with the twins. But apparently, there must be something going on to where even after the child is born, it goes on and on and on. Because from what I remember, her kids were in her early teens when she died in the fire. So I just wanted to tell you that story about what little I know about postpartum depression. I'm Hello Rodney. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.